inside the off stump. Oh, he's caught it! I don't believe it! Tom Kohler-Cadmore has caught the most magnificent catch. That short third man is the end of Daniel Sams, and Somerset have won the Vitality Blast 2023. They've bowled Essex out for 131.
Hello there, you're listening to Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. I'm Captain Manflu. Joining me this evening, I've got a man who's seen more super overs in the flesh than you, Dan Kingdom. Dan, how you doing, mate?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Don't have man flu, thankfully, and I'm very sorry to hear that you've got it.
Well, I'm sure I'll be all right. I just need a bit of a good night's sleep, and I reckon I'll be all right. So, what should we talk about then? Metro banking has been going on at York and at Taunton this week. Dan, I gather you went all the way up to York for a Metro bank, and what a good Metro bank it was.
I was in York, yeah. It was a really good game, yeah. One of those sort of classic 50-over games. It's not too high scoring, not too low scoring, and went to the last over. So, yeah, and obviously Somerset won, which was the cherry on top. It was... it was a great start, obviously, with the ball from us. Obviously, and also an incredible run out of Will Luxton by Josh Thomas to really get us going.
Yeah, misfield, wasn't it? Never run in a misfield.
Well, exactly, and it was a very badly judged run. I couldn't believe he took it. I think he was just desperate to get off the mark for whatever reason. But you know, he's a player who's been informed, so it was a strange one. But yeah, we were very tidy, I think, with the ball throughout. Even when Hill and Revis were going quite well together, we kept the run rate manageable. I think Jamie Thiedem bowled pretty well. He was tidy.
Thiedem.
So what did I say?
Jamie.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. James Thiedem. Jimmy
Let's
Thiedem.
nip that in the bud. Yeah. I'm sure I'm going to call him Matt at some stage after. As people used to always call me after my dad that had played cricket with him, so I probably will call him Matt at some stage throughout his career to say hello to us. We get more absent-minded with age. Jake Ball as well, bowling himself into that third-year option on his contract, which seems almost certain that it's going to be taken up now. You'd have thought with the departures.
Yeah, you'd hope so. Yeah, he's been an asset for us in this competition for sure. I think I've whenever he comes onto bowl, I feel reassured, and he is a very good option. He's taken wickets, he's kept the runs down for the most part, and I think he'll be key going into these last few games.
A couple of strange, not necessarily selections, but squad selections. Alfie Ogborn's been in brilliant form with the ball. Finn Hill had just hit 50 in the previous game against Lancashire, and they took him all the way up to York on the coach and didn't play either of them.
Yeah,
that seemed very strange to me. These two young lads that you think you probably should be in the team by merit, and if you're going to give them a game off, just give them a game off. Don't drag them all the way up to York when they could be playing golf or whatever, as I'm sure they probably would have been.
Yeah, particularly Alfie. Like he was due at rest. He had played the 3 games, and we could have easily just said to him, "You stay at home, have extended break off." And someone else will come. And like Language could have come as the 12th man, the extra seam bowler. Yeah. So yeah, that was a strange one. Hill made a bit more sense to me because we obviously wanted to get Leach back in the team because Hill was effectively playing instead of one of the bowlers, and we obviously wanted to get Leach back in. So either Hill or Josh Thomas probably had to go, and it probably was a tough decision. I think Hill would have made a good case for it, but Josh has shown throughout this comp that he is very effective, finishing innings off, and he did in that game. So I think that decision did make some sense, and I'm sure we'll see Finn Hill again quite soon.
Do we know why Josh hasn't been bowling? It's not bowled a ball throughout the whole competition.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Goldsworthy bowled a bit ahead of him earlier in the competition. Vaughan did as well for sort of matchup reasons. I guess when Leach has played, Leach has bowled, most of the spin overs. We just haven't felt the need to get to Josh, I guess. I guess Goldsworthy's ahead of him. And I haven't seen any obvious opportunities for Josh to bowl, unfortunately.
Yeah, it just seems strange that he's not been given an over or two off, through 5 games when you think there would be a space for it to happen. Archie Vaughan getting his highest List A score in the chase, 95 from 127 balls. It was just the anchor role he played, wasn't it?
Yeah, he batted really nicely. Yeah, he grew into the innings for sure, and the spinners tied him down a little bit initially, but he eventually sort of worked out ways of getting off strike, picking up the singles, played the odd aggressive shot that was controlled until finally, when within sight of his 100, he decided to. I think he went for a big stock sweep initially, and it was a big OW appeal which was turned down, and then he ran down the wicket to try and smash it down the ground and was stumped, wasn't he? I think, which was
bold, but it was a bit of a hoit. Whatever the outcome was, it was not pretty for young Archie.
Bit of a head loss kind of moment. Probably thought, maiden century, I want to bring it up in style. And there was probably a moment after that where he thought, oh, I might have lost just the game here. Because, I think we were always favourites, but there were a few nervous moments. And I think Vaughan will think, right, next time, I'm going to stay there and see it to the end. Because that's what, a batter's, an opening batter should be doing. Once they're at that stage, they're within sight of the win, you just stay there, let the century happen naturally. And then, you can keep going and win the game. So he'll learn from that, I hope. And it was just disappointing, I think, for all of us, for him not to get his 100 at York as well, against Yorkshire, against his dad's team. It would have been a great, a very appropriate first century for him.
Yeah, definitely. How do we feel that young Archie's gone in the tournament? Then he's averaging, I've got the averages here, averaging around 50. Yeah, 45.8 he's averaging. So got his scores here. Batting going from Sunday backwards, 20 off 38 against Warwickshire, that was batting first. 95 off 127 in the chase against Yorkshire. 59 off 93 batting first against Lancashire. 37 off 48 against Durham, and then 18 off 25 starting the campaign up at Radlett against Middlesex. Do we think there's room for him and Goldsworthy at 1 and 3, or do we need to just have a look at that order? Because the two games that we've lost have been batting first and really not taking advantage of good conditions early on and getting the innings off to a real fast start. And they're both very naturally conservative players, and Lammerby is to an extent as well when he's been starting. So I just wonder whether you could maybe say you put Josh Thomas up to open, which he did down at Hampshire last year, and then or at 3, and then put either Vaughan or Golders down at 6. So maybe they're coming in a little bit later, and it kind of forces their hand because they both play their shots.
Yeah. So, I think that works potentially. I think Vaughan's obviously learning, isn't he? He's not opened in list day cricket before, and it's not easy, when you've got that blank canvas in front of you batting first, to build an innings to judge the run rate you should be going at. So I can't see us changing the opening partnership at the moment, because I think we'll want him to
I don't think they will. No.
Bed in, yeah. But yeah, I see your point for sure. I mean, we have had some slowish starts, and I mean, I wasn't there for the first innings against Warwickshire, but it was very noticeable against Lancashire. We perhaps didn't take full advantage of the fielding restrictions, and it was probably a slightly difficult wicket to bat on. Obviously, as Lancashire showed, they only won by 2 wickets in the end. But yeah, I mean, if only we had one of the top run scorers in the last 2 years in the squad.
Well, on
a contract until the end of the season.
I presume he's not going to be going on a Metro Bank loan now.
Yeah, no. It's a bit of a strange one. But...
I mean, Pete Trigo was hitting some bombs down at Sidmouth last night. So, I mean, he was instrumental batting at 3 in the One Day Cup success in 2019. I reckon Pete could still do a job in that 50 over team. But you're right, he is learning. I'm just wondering if they're using the 50 over comp with Archie as a sort of a dress rehearsal for him going back to the top of the order in the Championship in September. Feels like they are, because they're not going to be going with Josh Davey now, you wouldn't have thought. 3-year deal up at Leicester, which I think is mad. 3-year deal for Josh Davey is going to be 38 at the end of it. So you potentially think, okay, well, there's a spot there. Are they going to go with TKC against the Duke's ball? Possibly. Is Gregory going to open, or is he going to slot back down at 7? I mean, they would, just swap one for the other, Vaughan and Gregory 1 to 7. So I don't know. It's interesting, but that top 3 for me, I don't think you can have Vaughan and Goldsworthy in it. You need to get somebody like a Josh Thomas or even James Rue or Thomas Rue up there and just maybe get your hitters and your more sort of conservative players a little bit more spaced out.
Yeah, I think I'd keep the Roos where they are, but yeah, Josh Thomas would potentially be the one to go up, and maybe try and fulfill the role. His brother played quite well in the last couple of years. And yeah, on your point about Vaughan, I think we definitely want him to go back to opening in the Championship at some point. Whether that's this, maybe even if it's not September, it'll probably be next season, I think, because clearly Davey isn't going to be around for much longer, and Gregory's not a long-term option. Vaughan is the youngster. He's the guy who is probably sees himself as an opener by trade. So we are going to want him to get back up there, I think. And it's been good for him to bat in the middle order of the Championship. I think he's probably he's been a bit more free there, scored a few runs there, and I think him opening would solve a few problems as well. As you said, do we want TKC opening with against the Dukes? Maybe not. Davey, we know, is not the long-term solution. Gregory, he's done okay as an opener, but he also is a very good player to have down at 7. So if we can get Vaughan back up for September, that might be a good thing potentially.
Because we've got to lose Banton to England for a chunk of September as well. So that would allow TKC to slot into Banton's position down at, where's he batting now, 5?
Also,
no, he's batting at 6. Abel's batting at 5 now. They've all shunted down.
I've lost.
Rue's at 4. Yeah, Lammerby's at 3. Rue's at 4. Abel's at 5, and then Banton/TKC will be at 6 with Vaughan at 7.
Although I heard tell that Abel picked up an injury in the other competition.
Oh, of course he has.
Well, all I know is I know for sure he missed Welsh Fire's last game. Apparently, he's got a hamstring injury, which is, if that's true, then that's obviously an injury he's had many times over the last few years. So that is worrying. I'm not 100% on that there, and the 100 does not communicate things. So I don't know.
They don't. But it's all very happy clappy. All look at this, look at that, look at that on social media. Not boring conservative updates that proper cricket fans would like to know about, such as one of their greatest ever players potentially not being available for the Championship run-in.
No.
Anyway, on to Sunday then. It was the club's 150th birthday party at Taunton. Tom Lammerby celebrated with his maiden List A 100, but it was all in vain, as I presume they're not called Birmingham Bears in this because that will clash with the Birmingham Phoenix in the other competition. So they back to being plain old Warwickshire in this to not take any attention away from the other competition. But it was really Taunton boy Jake Lintop, 50 off 36 at the end. Bashjani with 21 off 14, just kind of put the nail in the coffin. JT Language really impressed me, though. Second innings, I thought his first spell was absolute quality.
He's got a lot of potential, hasn't he? And I just hope that we are able to utilise it properly and hope that he doesn't reach a certain stage and then kind of plateau a bit, like we've seen with certain other bowlers at the club who've all mostly now left, i.e. Aldridge, Leonard, and Baker. So,
exactly. What impressed me about it? He's just got that. Obviously, he's really tall. He's height. He's quick, and he just bowls that kind of length that batters don't feel comfortable with. And I know we're not exactly talking about the Bradman's 1948 Australians here. It's kind of Warwickshire's second team, but it's there's a few good players in there. Alex Davis, Ed Barnard, Rob Yates, et al. But he just bowls that all good, and he's the kind of bowler that you don't really ever feel comfortable against.
For sure.
Like somebody like Craig, he's generally always quite full. He can slip the odd batsman, but that generally if you get on the front foot, you can either defend it or drive it. With Language, it's just that steep bounce, a bit like Caddick had. He's very difficult to drive. He was a number of boundaries coming from false shots in his first spell. And I thought he was absolutely excellent. Second spell, when Rue brought him back, I think it was probably at the wrong time, because his second spell, I think that was when we really needed to sit on them and just slow that run rate, really put the pressure on. I think the run rate was about 7.5, and we needed to try and get it up to 8, 9, 10, just to try and get them to push the panic button and and make a few mistakes. And then I think Language isn't quite the guy that you'd need. And I did feel that we were a bowler light on Sunday. Jack bowled 4 overs, went for 27. The Warwickshire spinners, Tazzy Mali, 7 overs, 2 for 66. Yates, 6 overs for 40, and Lintott, 7 overs for 45. So they weren't really able to turn the screw.
Yeah.
So
it's been a strange one.
Yeah, I felt we were a bowler light. I think Lammonby feels like a fifth seamer rather than a fourth seamer in that side.
Yeah, I assume we expected Leach to bowl more overs, but he just wasn't getting it quite right, was he, unfortunately? And obviously, Warwickshire spinners, well, I wasn't there for the first innings, but Warwickshire spinners obviously went for a few as well. So, perhaps it wasn't a great pitch for spin. And it's been strange with Leach in this competition because he didn't play, did he, the first 2 home games? I think we did really miss him potentially against Lancashire because we just needed that sort of nous in the middle overs. We missed, I think we missed Leach and maybe Aldridge against Lancashire as well because that game was, I know that game was a while ago, but that was a game where we really lacked sort of firepower and nous in the middle overs, I think, to get those wickets, particularly, Harris and Balderson, who were going well. So we obviously reacted to that by bringing Leach back. But it's not quite worked, unfortunately.
No. I'd like to sign Michael Booth as well. He looks bloody good.
Yeah, he's a good bowler. Yeah, he's been around for a couple of years.
He's got 1 more year on his contract, so let's hope we can sign him or sign somebody. Let's just sign anybody, please. Have you heard any rumours? I've heard Matt Henry's not coming back in September, workload and all that.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Beyond sure, it's just it was just a passing line in the mail, wasn't it, a few weeks ago about Martian de Lange being linked with us. Although it said he was more likely to go to Glamorgan, but that we're interested, which I think is absolutely baffling because he's 34 years old, very injury prone now, didn't do too much of us before, so that would be very strange. And it shows almost like are we a bit desperate if we're going back to someone like de Lange?
That's really the thing. I tweeted about this. We are now in a very vulnerable position in the transfer market in that it is, whichever way around you want it, a buyer's or a seller's market, a bull or a bear market. I don't know which way around it is. But, agents come into us, we say, oh, look, I've got such and such, journeyman seam bowler, but you're going to have to pay an extra 10 grand for him because I know that you've got no seam bowlers and you're desperate.
And I think it's probably part of the reason why we've been given these chances to Thiedem and Language and Kieran Robertson in this competition, because we know that they're going to be needed more often next season, probably slightly more often than we'd like, probably a bit sooner than we'd like. Obviously, they're all good and talented, but they might be pressed into action in a bigger role a bit younger than would be ideal, perhaps, which is maybe why
I didn't see Thiedem in the flesh up at York. What did you make of young James?
He was very tidy, I think. I don't think he's the quickest. But yeah, I mean, he did struggle a bit in his first over. I think his first over went for 13. But after that, he only conceded 19 more, I think it was, off his remaining 4 overs. And he picked up a wicket as well. So, yeah, just a good, serviceable bowler. We need to obviously see more of him just to really rate him. But yeah, and I think it was a good decision from Rue to keep him on after that first over as well. Yeah. It would have been very easy to take him off. But no, he kept him going. And yeah, it did pay off, I think. So, yeah, another good prospect.
Yeah, definitely. So I look forward to seeing him play for Hampshire next season and then tearing it up in the 100 the year after.
Be good.
Good God. Oh, right. So where are we then in the Metromat One Day Cup table? Second in Group B. Yorkshire are on 16. We're on 12, which we are sharing with Warwickshire, Sussex and Middlesex. So a big old logjam at the top of Group B. There it is. The top side goes through to their semi-final, then the 2 second and third play their qualifiers.
Yeah.
Less than 48 hours after they finish their final group game, which is mental.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a strange one this year, isn't it? Because also, by the way, Middlesex won today, so actually they've gone to 16.
Oh, did they? Don't rely on Crick Info.
I know. It's shocking. To be fair, BBC's table was out of date for a bit the other day as well. It didn't update Lancashire Sussex for a bit, so you can't trust anything these days, basically.
No.
Yeah, it would have been nice if Kent had beaten Middlesex today. But yeah, one thing that's interesting is that if Hampshire finish second, they'll have a home quarter final, and on that day, Southern Brave are playing at the Rose Bowl. So I don't know if Hampshire have a home quarter final, will it actually be moved to the Friday perhaps, or will it be played at the other team's ground? I don't know.
If they move it to the Friday, that'll be the 29th.
There'll be one clear day in between quarter and semis.
I don't know. Could they play it?
That's what they did last year. Last
Could
year
they
it was
play
Friday. So last year, the last group games were on a Tuesday, like this year, but the quarters were the Friday, and then the semis were the Sunday. Whereas this year they brought the quarters a day earlier, so there's now only one day in between the last group game and the quarters, but there's 2 days in between the quarters and the semis. So it's
Should
just,
they play at the nursery ground at the same time as the 100?
oh no, they won't do that.
Oh, I'd
No
love
way.
that. I'd love that to be like a spattering of people around the utility bowl, and then are absolutely packed standing room only around the around the
I'd
nursery
love to
ground
see it.
at Southampton. That'd be good. Oh, there's a snow. You could literally stand on the concourse and just sort of keep an eye on both.
You could do. Although I'm sure the one they want to keep an eye on is the quarterfinal, obviously.
Oh, obviously, yes, not whoever they're playing the Southern Brave against.
But yeah, that's the match we have as it stands, away to Hampshire in the quarterfinal. So
Oh,
we will
okay.
see.
Well, I don't know if Hampshire have they what outgrounds have they played in?
They played at the Isle of Wight in the last few years,
Oh,
but
good.
not this year.
They
I
will
seriously doubt it'll be an outground. I think the most likely is it'll be moved to the following day. That has happened in recent years during the One Day Cup. That quarterfinals and semi-finals have both been moved by a day because of clashes with the 100 or whatever. And it's annoying, isn't it? Because it's already last minute that people are having to organise annual leave or whatever to go to these quarters or semi-finals. So it adds another layer of complexity if they're being moved by a day at the last minute. So really what Hampshire needs to do is actually say, as soon as possible, communicate that if we have a home quarter final, this will be the solution. So,
or we will concede home advantage and let you, whoever it is,
well, yeah,
have home advantage.
that's what happened last year with Worcestershire, wasn't it? The England Lions were playing at Worcester, so they had to play a home quarter at Edgbaston against Warwickshire.
That happened in COVID, didn't it? They played all their home games at Warwickshire, didn't they, for Sky? Because they set all the cameras up at Edgbaston. We played Worcester there, didn't we? I think Steve Davis got a few runs.
It was a one-off for TV reasons. Yeah, I think Northants played Glamorgan earlier that day, and we played Worcester. Yeah, there was also, I think, was it Derbyshire during COVID because England women were playing there. They had to play all their games at Trent Bridge.
I quite like James Drew's captaincy. I think he's done a decent job. Could potentially just mix the bowling up a little bit more. We always seem to open up with 5 and 6 over spells from the two openers when maybe you probably want just mixing it up, giving 3 or 4 bowlers a go in that first 10 just so the batter's on.
Yeah, it gives you more
options. Taking wickets, but yeah, and as you say, one thing I know from just captaining in league cricket is there's no worse feeling than looking around going, oh, who's going to bowl? He's bowled out, he's bowled out, he's bowled out. So yeah. But apart from that, I think he's been pretty tactically astute. I think he's been.
Yeah, I think he's good.
Because whenever you throw at these Roo boys, they just smash into the crowd for 6. As Thomas did on Sunday with some incredible reverses to that short boundary. There was quite a few nice little shots that he played there that were quite astute, where he wasn't just thinking, oh, if I'm going to show that I can play the reverse scoop, and if I get 6, it's great, and if I get caught, oh well, never mind, that's the way I play. But there was one it wasn't a reverse, but he really went across and he really dragged it into a gap instead of trying to hit it for 6. I forget who it was off, but it just kind of really stood out as just being so aware of where the field is. And likewise with a couple of the reverses for 6 as well, just getting a little bit away from the fielder and knowing that if he doesn't quite get it, then it's probably going to drop safe. So I think his just incredible cricket smarts, game awareness, whatever you want to call it. I think it's mad. He's 17.
I know. I mean,
he's still 21.
Like his brother, he's just come straight into the side, and immediately looked at home, hasn't he? Nothing seems to phase either of them. I mean, Thomas has come in with. There's been hype around him, obviously, but partly because of his brother, but also because of himself having done pretty well at lower levels. So, despite that hype, he's just come in and looked, right at home straight away. He's very confident. He's happy to go for the attacking shots, and it's worked. It's generally worked. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing him in regularly across all formats very soon, like maybe even next season. I mean, there's even a chance in the championship team this season,
next month.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I think it might depend on the situation with, like, if we're out of the championship, if we're out of championship contention going into the last game, then maybe that's when he comes in. I don't know, or maybe sooner as a bit of a something a bit different to give us a bit of a boost. Because we do need something different, I guess. We're going to have to win all these 3 games and hope the Surrey slip up. So maybe he does come straight into Bantam.
I think he's on some sort of rookie deal, isn't it? I think he's going into upper 6th in September, so that'll depend on his studies and whatnot. That's mad, isn't it? One of Somerset's best players. I just got to finish my upper 6, and then makes you feel old, doesn't it? But I mean, we just keep waxing lyrical about it. You just can't stop talking about the way that these kids play. I mean, I'd love to know how they were coached, what their home life was like, how Chris and Debbie brought them up. I mean, they could kind of open up some sort of foster home for sort of errant batsmen who kind of need to sort of go there and be taught in the Roo ways of how to compile an innings and not play silly shots and give you a wicket away. Oh, fantastic! Anything more on the old Metro banking? You were going to come off your long run, weren't you?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I have been a bit concerned with some of the selections through the competition. I mean, I understand to some extent why we're giving youngsters a go. I mean, when I'm talking about youngsters, I mean Thiedem and Langridge and Kieran Roberts. Yeah, and I just worry that we're throwing away the chance to win this competition. Like, it's the last year where we've got Davey and Aldridge and Green. There's a good chance that next year both Roos will be in the 100, perhaps. I think that's not beyond the realms of possibility at all. This could be our last year for a long time. We've got a chance of winning this competition. And I'm not blaming the youngsters at all. And, but I do think that if we were full strength against Lancashire, we would have won that game. And possibly against Warwickshire as well. Because we are playing Aldridge and Davey, and Green got rested for a game as well. We are playing those guys less than they would be otherwise. When we are not playing our strongest team every game, even allowing for rotation of pace bowlers. So we're now in a situation where we probably have to win all 3 of our remaining games to go through. We might be able to get away with 2, but it's so tight. So I sincerely hope we do go all out to win these games. And I understand that about giving youngsters a chance, and I understand that they will have benefited from playing in this competition. But we shouldn't be sort of playing into the ECB line of it being a development competition, which was of course said by Gordon Hollins when he was managing director of county cricket. And it's just I think it's just so regrettable that he said that, because what he should have said was that yes, a lot of top players will be missing from the One Day Cup going forward because of the 100, but he should have been very clear that we still want counties to be putting out their strongest available 11s. Yeah. And then the youngsters that do play, because obviously, naturally, youngsters will be getting in, because some teams are losing so many players to the 100. Some really young players are going to then play, and they are going to naturally develop even better than they would have, otherwise. If you're leaving out a lot of senior players on top of your 100 absentees, the youngsters that play are not going to develop that much. But if you're playing the strongest possible teams, the youngsters that play are going to develop even better than they would otherwise. So I'm not saying Somerset are not the only counties to have done this, but I think over these last few years of the Metro Bank, some counties have been leaving out senior players because they're like, oh no, this is a development competition, we want to give the youngsters a chance. But I just think that attitude, adds fuel to the fire of this competition being, the fact is this competition is depleted, but we shouldn't be depleting it even further by leaving out top players. And Somerset have said in recent years, when Gordon Hollins was Somerset CEO, he was saying about how it's been a struggle to really get fans energized by this competition, in the summer holidays. He says, he's said that we need better stuff to put on during the summer holidays. That was, to be fair, in a period where we was really struggling back in sort of 22 and 23. But we're sort of shooting ourselves in the foot even further by leaving out some of our top players at times. Jet Leach was another as well. He missed the first 2 home games for some reason. So and
you also have to kind of factor in that if you are, paying for your membership, paying for your ticket, you want to see Somerset putting out the best available team, or as close to it. I mean, obviously, there needs to be rotated and rest and whatnot. I mean, that's what's kind of got me as well, is the bowling attack has really shifted around, like 3 or 4 different bowlers every game. It's crazy. And you're sort of looking at mentioned Rue's captaincy, it's like, well, he's got 5 different bowlers to manage now than he had the previous game. Then he's probably going to have 3 different ones and then 2 more different ones. And he's kind of looking at it going, oh, right, well, JT's my impact bowler, but then I know Jake can do this, but then Jake's not playing, but Alfie's playing. Does that mean Alfie? It's really kind of complicated. The best sides, or the best bowling attacks, they just know their roles, they know where they've got to bowl, and they go out and execute their job at whatever stage of the innings they're bowling.
Yeah.
And when you're chopping and changing that, it's very difficult, I think.
Yeah, because it was the Lancashire game where we rested. So the Lancashire game we played Roberts, Davey, Ogborn, and Langridge as the bottom 4, which I think was that was missing Jake Ball, it was missing Aldridge, it was missing Green, it was missing Leach. That was not the strongest bowling attack, and we were a little bit naive, I think, for that game. And I'm not, I'm not blaming Roberts or any of those guys at all.
No.
But I think playing Roberts and Langridge was probably a step too far. We maybe were slightly complacent because Lancashire have lost a lot of players to the 100, and we probably should have won that game. I know we only scored 250, but I think we should have defended that.
Yeah, should have done.
So, yeah,
just going back to the roles. Lammonby bowled 1 over in that game, and then a few days later against Warwickshire, I think he bowled most of his. He's bowling the 7 overs. You think what's his role? Is he is he one of your main bowlers, or is he just a kind of a change? A part-time bowler. It's all very strange. And as you say, now we're getting down to the crunch end of the competition. I think we need to be picking our strongest side 3 games in a row.
Yeah,
because we're down at Sussex on Thursday. Then I presume we've got to stay down in the southeast and travel over to Kent on Sunday, and then there is a very quick turnaround that week back to Taunton for Northants on Tuesday, and then a quarter final on the Thursday and the semi final on the Sunday. So it's going to be pretty chock of that last week. So, but they need to plan. They need to say, well, you switch 1, maybe 2 bowlers at a time, and you're not chopping and changing the whole thing, because it makes it very, very difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've got to be. We've clearly in previous games been sort of reserving a spot or 2 for a young bowler. We've been like, right, apart from game 1 where we were full strength, game 2, 3, 4, 5, we've reserved a spot for Freedom or for Langridge or for Roberts. Now going forward, maybe they'll still play. They might still get a game, but we have got to be picking the best team for each game. Obviously there will be some rotation of the pace bowlers, but we've got to be going in with the best available team. And hopefully Pretorius is back as well, because he obviously played at Radlett, but then
I've heard a rumour that the club may not have been entirely honest with the fact that old Miggy P has got an ankle injury.
Oh, really?
So we'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay.
He may have got his game 1 out of the way at Middlesex, so he's eligible to play for the rest of the competition in the knockouts and whatnot. But that's the rumour that I've heard.
That seems strange, because we've got to get to the knockouts first, and he would be a big part of us getting there, I think.
Exactly. So maybe he'll come back in for the next game.
He's another player as well. Somerset management have said, "Oh, we need to have better cricket during the summer holidays." Mig at Taunton playing 50 over cricket. That could be great fun.
I was so looking when he first sort of came over last season, or was it? No, last season.
Yeah.
Apart from that little brain fart he had down at Surrey, he kind of grew into that sort of cricket. You think, oh, this guy, he's a tailor-made 50 over cricketer.
Yep.
Can't wait to see him play. And then he just didn't play in that comp, did he? He was
called up to the
to Thackeray or
to the test squad,
the test side or something like that. So he was not available. But this season I thought, oh, this is going to be good. But they've denied us our Miggy. Yeah,
and now he will play a maximum of 1 home game in this competition, sadly, unless we get some knockouts and he plays in that. But it's a shame the fans have missed out on seeing him.
Yeah, I do like Miggy. Right, anything else on the old Metro Bank then? Are you Metro Bank? Are you going down all the way down to Hove for a Metro Bank on Thursday, Dan?
I am, yep. I do have the proud record. I've never missed a Metro Bank One Day Cup match for Somerset. So that's since the tournament became sponsored by Metro Bank in 2023. I've seen every Somerset Metro Bank match. Which
you're one of the most prolific Metro bankers in the country, then.
Exactly, yeah. I do love a Metro Bank. So
I'm going on a cruise on Saturday. So if I want to have a Metro Bank, I'm going to have to pay £30 a day for one with the extremely expensive internet on the cruise. So, So hopefully we're in port that day and I can keep up to date on the Wi-Fi. If not, my Metro banking will be very expensive and will probably annoy my wife quite a lot if I'm spending 3 figures on a Metro bank at sea. Anyway, moving on. I went down to Sidmouth last night for the 150th game, anniversary game against what was the Gentlemen or the Legend. I think it was called the Gentlemen and Ladies of Somerset against the Gentlemen and Ladies of Devon Sidmouth, which I think was a great way to play the game, kind of recognising that now is the first season of professional women's county cricket, so kind of incorporating that as well was really well done. It was great fun. I always love these pros or the old pros against the clubbies. Trigo looked in great form. He was telling us on Sunday afternoon in the press box. He was smashing it round for Burbage and Western Royal on Saturday, and he continued his good form. Good to see him batted again with Hildy. That may be the last time they ever bat together.
Could be, yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I hope not.
They've got identical scores, didn't they, as well? 55.
Yeah, 55. Well, Hildy's last shot, they retired at 50. So I got blown with those again. It was an absolute monster onto the roof of the houses next to the ground. It was an absolute beast. And Hildy looked absolutely terrible when he first went in, as he was trying to sort of play all these reverse kind of pulls rather than sweeps, and he wasn't making contact with any of them. And then it just came out, and it was that Hilda sort of back cut drive that he plays, just through backward point for 4. We've missed you, Hildy. And then he just went a bit mad. Harry Everett, you could have bet your mortgage that Harry Everett was going to squeak his way onto the field in some stage. I'll let him have my little necklace camera, so do have a look at that. I'll start getting onto it. That was really good. Liv Barnes took a hell of a crowd catch as well.
All right, nice.
There was because the girls that played, Jess Hazel kept wicket. She kept wicket really well. I was quite impressed with her. It's the first time off. I think it's the first time I've seen her keep wicket in the flash, and because Stephen Jones could still slip it through a bit, and I don't. Girls wouldn't normally sort of be keeping to that pace of bowling in women's cricket, but she just looked the part. So impressed with that. Yeah, but I don't know if you know Sidmouth, but there's kind of benches outside the pavilion, so she was in quite a confined space, and I think it was young Josh Patidar who's he's just absolutely smashed Trigo for a huge 6. Poor old Trigs was. He just kept Mike Yeager's run up a little bit longer, and he just kept going further and further. So she was kind of crammed in with all these benches and all these people around, and it was just boom, straight in. So that was a champagne moment, but a really good night. Commemorating the 150th anniversary of Somerset. I just realised something as well. This is completely coincidental. It was our 5th birthday as well. Always look on the bright side of life. Me and Steve recorded the first episode completely coincidentally on the 18th of August 2020 when we were all in massive lockdown. I've got a quiz for you, Dan.
Oh,
this is a guess who. There was a completely random famous person at the game last night.
Right.
I want you to try and guess who it is. This is going to be
a cricketer.
Oh no, not a cricketer. I'll give you a clue. He's probably either in his 60s or 70s, and he's a Yorkshireman, but nothing to do with cricket.
Oh, blimey. You're gonna have to give me a further clue, I think. Otherwise, I'm
kind of getting you to go like, is he a musician? Is he an actor?
Yeah. Is he an actor?
No.
Is he a musician?
No.
Is he a TV presenter?
No.
Is he a chef?
No.
Is he a sportsman? But not.
No.
I assume it's a he. Yeah. Trying to think of another famous thing it could be. You'll have to tell me what he does.
He's well known. Wouldn't say he's celebrity, as in entertainment side of things.
A politician.
Politician, yes.
Ooh. All right. William Hague?
No.
Oh. Is he still an MP? Well,
he is still an MP. He's sort of an MP. Here's a bit of a clue. He's sort of an MP. He is an MP, but he's sort of not quite an MP.
What? So is he an MP in? So is he in the United Kingdom? Is he a member of?
Current member of Parliament, but he's sort of not a member of Parliament.
How can he be sort of not a member of Parliament?
You'll get it once you get it. You'll go, yeah.
I'm trying to work out what you mean by sort of not. Is he Conservative Party?
No.
Labour?
Yes. This is fantastic listening.
Oh, is
for
he
you.
House of Lords?
No, he is an MP.
Oh, blimey!
Once you get it, you'll be like, oh yeah.
So is he been like expelled by the Labour Party?
No, he currently sits in the House of Commons.
But you said he's kind of not an MP, so I'm trying to work out what that means.
Yeah. So there's about 2 or 3 of them in the House of Commons that they're not quite normal MPs.
Is it the Speaker of the House, Lindsay
It
Hoyle?
is the Speaker of the House, Lindsay Hoyle.
Oh, well, is he from Lancashire?
Completely random spot down in Sidmouth. He must
He's
have been
from
on
Chorley,
his holiday.
isn't he? Oh, well, maybe I'm thinking of his... Hang on, I'm thinking of his constituency. Maybe he is from Yorkshire.
Oh, he sounds Yorkshire, but yeah, he was.
He's member of Parliament. He's from Lancashire. He's from Lancashire. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. That's why you didn't get it for so long.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Completely random spot at Sidmouth last night. Speaking of Hampton Lindsay Oil.
How random is that?
So there we go. Anything else on Sidmouth? Anything else on the Metro Bank? Should we pick our team for the next game? Because
Yes.
I haven't done mine yet, but because I've been asleep in bed for the last 4 hours. Well, I'm opening with Josh Thomas, and then with Tom Lammonby.
Yep, I think I'd do that after.
I'm putting Archie at 3. James Rue, Thomas Rue, Goldsworthy at 6.
Yep. Potentially, if we lose early wickets, Golders could go in higher, couldn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, so you can always be flexible with that. And then I'm kind of struggling on the bowlers because we've kind of played so many. They've all played well at some stage throughout the competition.
Yeah, I think Greener at 7, surely.
Got to have Greener at 7.
Yeah. And then the best, I mean, the question is whether Leach plays, isn't it? Because he's not been quite, he didn't do brilliantly at York either, but he was so good last year. He was such a key part of
Durham, he was absolute world class.
Yeah.
You've got 3 spinners in your batters anyway, 3 capable spinners.
Yeah. But they're not, at their best. Leach at his best is such an asset to have in the middle overs. So if he's at his best, we pick him every day of the week, don't we?
Let's stick him that. I'm going to stick him at 12 then.
Obviously,
and then you've got a Ball.
Ball and Ogborn play. They're 100% in our strongest team, aren't they?
That's got 2 spaces left now.
Yeah. There's Miggy, but I would pick Miggy.
Is there Miggy? Is there Miggy? Is there no Miggy?
Yeah, and then it's sort of Aldridge or Davey or Leach or one of the youngsters, isn't it, really?
I think I've probably got enough bowling in there to stick Langridge in. I think he's bowled well in patches. I think if he bowls 1 4-over spell, 1 3-over spell, and just gives it licks, and tries to just take wickets and do that, I think you can do that. I think there's 43 other overs there quite easily. Yeah.
He's a good sort of nuclear option to have, isn't he? He might get whacked, but he will probably pick you up a wicket or 2, and he can come in handy in a lot of situations when you need a wicket.
Davies just played the 1 game. A lot of them have just played the 1 game as well, which is very strange. I mean, the only ones who played all 5 are the batters: Lammonby, Vaughan, Goldsworthy, Rue, and Thomas.
Yeah.
So, last bowling slot then. Or do we just have it as Leach? So then if you've got Greener, Ogborn at 8, he batted well against Warwickshire on Sunday. I'm not sure he's a permanent number 8, but prove me wrong.
No, I think the tail did look a bit weak, didn't it, on Sunday? Thankfully, Ogborn smashed it and JT hit a few, didn't in the last over. But yeah, in an ideal world, we don't want Ogborn at 8. I don't think.
No.
It's if Mig plays, he's.
Then you pretty have to put either Pretorius or Aldridge in there, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Now is it? I think that's our best one-day cup team.
Yep. And there's 2 days. There's 3 days break now. There's 2 days break after the Sussex game. So potentially that does allow us to pick our strongest team for this game. Yeah. But then obviously after that, it's 3 games in 5 days if we're in a quarter-final. So
yeah, and they're all kind of must-win games. So it's going to be tricky for Paul Tweddle and the Brains Trust to manage that. But that's what they get paid the big bucks for, I suppose.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. If only we had Charlie Castle to give us a bit more depth.
Oh yeah. So is he playing? No, it's the other one who's playing for us, is it?
Curtis Camp's playing for Essex.
Curtis
Yeah,
Camp.
yeah,
Curtis Camp
100 on
all
debut.
seas. Yeah, he's playing for Essex. Yes, it would have been nice. So yeah, well, I suppose that's a positive. We haven't made a completely random, speculative sort of
Yeah,
associate international one-day cup signing this year.
yeah. I do like our random one day cup signings. You know, we had Curtis Camphor and Castle, Danny
Yeah,
Lamb, George
yeah,
Scott, George
yeah,
Driscoll back in 2021.
yeah.
But yeah, none this year, which is a bit sad.
That's a shame. Well, we still got time for a completely random loan signing.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%.
I mean, we've also still got time to get our completely random September Championship overseas and who's going to take 3 wickets, 120, and not score any runs.
Well, I noticed that lad playing for Sidmouth, Akeem Jordan. He played for Kent last year and got a five for. I don't know
Oh,
how
did
well he
he?
did beyond that, but maybe he could be on the radar if he's in the local area and we want an overseas signing. But I mean, if is he better than the bowlers we've got would be the
Probably
question,
not.
because yeah, we should only we surely have learnt by now that we should only make a September signing if it's a genuinely quality player who will genuinely add to the team.
But mind you, saying that we signed Wagner and he didn't do very much. That Pakistani spinner, he didn't do much. He was more entertaining with the bat than he was with the ball.
Yeah,
Uh,
basically, I'm saying it should be Matt Henry or no one.
exactly, yeah, Matt Henry or no one. And it looks like it's probably going to be no one.
Yeah, well, we'll have
It's a
Mig at
shame,
least,
isn't
I
it?
think. So we'll have
Yeah,
enough
and
options.
we'll
I
have
think.
Riley. We should have Riley as well for the knockouts as well. So
Well, yeah, for the
touch wood.
blast, yeah,
Well,
that'd be
that's if the 100 doesn't kill him.
yeah.
Good stuff.
Because we missed Riley, didn't we? For the knockouts last year in the blast, we had no overseas player.
No, we didn't. No,
So,
finals day either. It was
Yeah.
So we did. Yeah, we did bloody well. It was quite nice seeing a homegrown side with no overseas doing so well in that comp. But just falling at the final hurdle is always difficult to take. And you think, should they have got an overseas in? Should they have? Should they have got a bang average September overseas in to help us win the Vitality Blast?
You remember they've got to play in the group stage, so it doesn't.
No, yes, that's true. That's true. Spoiled thoughts. Anything else from yourself, Dan? I think I'm done.
Yeah.
Just getting depressed about what other counties putting out posts then who they've signed.
Yeah.
Leicester do some bloody cracking business. Johnny Tattersall and Josh Davey today. Ben Green and
I saw that Derbyshire signed Ben Aitchison and Nick Potts on new contracts today. I'm not saying we should have signed them, but they're two more pace bowlers who have now become unavailable to us. Obviously, Somerset women have not been playing, which is a shame. But some of the we don't want to talk about the other competition, but some of our players have been playing on loan in Metrobank League 2 and have done quite well from what I've seen. The Chloe Scoutman's been playing for Gloucestershire. So's Katie Jones, Olivia Barnes at Kent, Ellie Anderson for Glamorgan, and Ruby Davis for Worcestershire. They've all done well. They've all scored runs and or picked up wickets, which is good to see. And it's good that they're getting some game time in during this lull period of the season. Hopefully, Luffy obviously played yesterday as well.
Yeah. I'm Skelton and Hazel. Yeah.
So hopefully they're keeping their eye in, because obviously September, basically for Somerset, it's 4 must-win games in the One Day Cup.
It certainly is. And one of those games is at Taunton on finals day. So
yes, it is, isn't it? Yeah. I'll be there if we don't get to finals day. But
I'm sure I will be as well. But
if we're at finals day, I think we'll have other priorities.
Sweet, wouldn't it? Yeah. I mean, they don't really. I mean, they could have quite easily put that on the Sunday, could they? Oh, then it would have clashed with the League 2 final. But would that have made a massive difference? Who knows?
Probably not.
I think it should be like Cup final day, finals day. No other cricket's played, and it's special.
Yeah.
But we all know that the ECB hate county cricket now, so
yeah. And we know that the 100 takes a lot of 100 fans don't like it when I point this out on Twitter, but the 100 takes 4 weeks. One of the issues with the 100 is it takes 4 weekends out of the summer, and it just squeezes everything else. So it means you get clashes like you just mentioned, and it means you get clashes like the Women's Blast Finals Day being the same day as the England-India men's test and the same day as the Women's Euros final. It just means that more things than, it means you have to have 2 things on a weekend like that. It means that everything just gets squeezed and you can't schedule things as you would like. It means means things are inevitably going to clash more than you'd like. So, yeah.
Oh, depressing, I suppose. Are we going to get any of this 100 money then? It all seems to be going a bit. Is it me, or is it all gone a bit quiet when they've kind of realised that they're not
All I heard
getting
is
anything for their money?
all the counties are getting £400,000 immediately. So I assume they've got that. I think they have, haven't they? 'Cause I think I saw that Yorkshire said about they've already started paying off their debt or something. I don't know. Oh no, maybe that's to do with the sale of the team actually. So maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like the money's being, because it's only been fairly recently revealed that actually this money that is going to all the counties from the 100 is not just going to them freely. It's being locked away, and the counties have to kind of apply to the ECB to access it. So presumably the ECB will be set. Presumably the council will say we want to use some of the money on this, and the ECB will decide whether that's a worthy enough cause, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I guess that kind of makes sense, because one thing you don't want it going on is just paying players double what they're on now for 2 or 3 years till the money runs out, and then the whole thing just goes pop. But it's great because this player's got a new Ferrari.
That is true, yeah. But the thing is, the way they say that the money can only be spent on certain things, like, yes, that is an admirable thing to say, but the problem is it's still going to free up other money that counties would ordinarily,
Yeah, so if you've got 200 grand in your ground maintenance budget, for example, to renovate your stands, you say, oh, can I have 200 grand to renovate your stands? And then that other 200 grand is going into the playing budget. So it's
exactly. So it's still going to. Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what the councils are all using the money on and how much debt they've got to pay off, and so it's not going to necessarily fix everything, I don't think. And I think it's naive. I think a lot of people just look at all these big numbers and go, "Oh, yes, look at all these big numbers. Don't you just love the 100 bringing all these big numbers into county cricket?" And it's just nowhere near as simple as that. And there's strings attached to this money, and we're losing. The game is losing a lot of power, to foreign owners. A lot of power and influence goes to foreign owners, and who knows what they could demand in the future. The ECB can say, "Oh, there's all these safeguards. The 100 window is protected, the blast will stay, etc., etc." But who knows what will happen in the future? The ECB could easily cave to them in the future, couldn't they? Like, you can't trust the ECB. We can't trust.
No, I mean,
the leadership of the ECB could change. So.
I mean, I think Richard Gould, he was sat on the outfield with Mike Atherton on a bench doing an interview, and he said something along the lines of, "Oh, if we told the counties out, they would have never voted for it." I forget what the actual question was, but it was like literally just saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah, they've basically admitted that the 100 was always going to have private investment, even though they very clearly said originally, no, the 100's not going to have private investment. It's not the Big Bash, which is, the teams are owned by the board, etc. But they basically have since said that was always a lie just to get them to vote for it. It's just, but that just seems to be accepted. The media don't care. There's no one holding them to account for it. It's just we just got to accept it. Apparently.
What a depressing note to end on then.
Anyway, let's be positive. Let's go into the final 3 One Day Cup games with some optimism, and hopefully we'll be in a quarter final or maybe even straight to the semi-final next week.
I get back next Saturday on the 30th, so hopefully I'll be able to shoot straight up to Taunton on the Sunday for a Metrobank One Day Cup semi-final.
Hopefully, yeah.
That is involving Somerset, not someone using our ground, because theirs is booked up by the 100.
Oh, who knows? Right. Yeah, because that's another thing. Yeah, I think Middlesex have said that they're going to use Radlett for the knockouts. Yeah, which is what they normally do anyway for the One Day Cup, because Lords obviously has the 100 finals, so that's another factor to take into account. Anyway,
definitely. Right. Cheers, Dan. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you. I will see you. Well, I'm away for 2 weeks now, so nothing for 2 weeks. So sorry, guys. You have to make do without us for 2 weeks, which is you may think is a good thing. Right. Cheers.
Cool. Cheers, mate.